The transfer window closes on August 30th, and my friend, there's going to be a lot of movement at Rangers until then. Here are today's updates for you. Billy Gilmore could do Rangers a huge favor amid a £10 million transfer standoff. Scott Wright transfer update as Rangers repeatedly make offers. Clement could forget about Romani and Rangers move for a £1.7 million starlet. Todd Cantwell goes back on his word as a one-year flashback shows Rangers' betrayal. That's it. Give that like button a kick to help the channel and let's get started. Rangers are in a bit of a tight spot as the transfer window draws to a close, and Philippe Clement's not exactly hiding his frustration. He's got players he needs to move on to free up some space and cash, but things aren't going as smoothly as we'd like. But here's where things get interesting. Billy Gilmore, yes, our very own Auchenhowie graduate, might just do us a solid. So Gilmore's got Napoli sniffing around, and if he ends up heading off to Serie A, that could set off a chain reaction that might actually benefit us. See, if Gilmore leaves Brighton for Napoli, Brighton's likely to go all in for Matt O'Reilly from Celtic. Now, losing O'Reilly would be a big blow for them. After all, midfielders who can rack up 30-goal contributions in a season don't exactly grow on trees. And let's be honest, it's a bit frustrating to think that Celtic landed O'Reilly and his partner in crime, Rio Hatate, for about the same money we shelled out for Todd Cantwell and Jose Cifuentes. It just goes to show that smart recruitment doesn't always mean spending big bucks. Now let's talk about Gilmore himself. There was a time when he was having a rough go at Norwich City that it looked like he might come back to Rangers. But, as fate would have it, that never materialized. He's spoken about how close he felt to making his debut for us back in the day, only to see it slip away. And every time he signs a new contract or makes a big move, the chances of seeing him in a Rangers shirt again get slimmer. He's the kind of player worth breaking the bank for, but with a price tag around £10 million, according to Italian journalist Nicola Schira, that ship's probably sailed. Still, if his next move helps weaken Celtic, it's not all bad news for us, is it? So, while we might not get Gilmore back, here's hoping his next career step does us a favor in the long run. Let's chat about the Scott Wright situation. It looks like Rangers have been trying to shift the winger this summer, but so far there's been no real bite. According to Chris Jack, Wright's been repeatedly offered to clubs in the lower leagues of England, but no one's shown serious interest just yet. With Wright in the final year of his contract, it's looking more and more likely that he'll be leaving Glasgow before the transfer window slams shut on 30th August. Now here's the thing. Wright isn't the only one whose future at Rangers is up in the air. We've got Alex Lowry, Adam Devine, and Tom Lawrence all in the same boat, with their contracts also running out soon. If the club can't find the funds to renew their deals, they could be on their way out too. Wright started the 2024-25 season on a positive note, getting the nod from Philippe Clement for matches against Hearts and Dynamo Kiev. But recently, he's found himself slipping down the pecking order with Václav Cerny, Rabbi Matondo, and Ross McCausland moving ahead of him. Rangers have slapped a £2 million price tag on Wright, but with his return of 12 goals and 7 assists in 120 appearances, it's fair to say he won't be massively missed if he goes. It's probably best for everyone involved if he finds a new club soon. But here's where it gets tricky. If no club comes forward soon, Rangers might have to rethink that price tag. Time's ticking, and with only 10 days left in the transfer window, Clement's got to get a move on if he wants to bring in fresh faces. We're in a bit of a limbo right now, waiting to offload players we don't really want so we can fund new signings. Rangers have had a shaky start to the season, winning just 2 out of 5 matches, and we've already been knocked out of the Champions League playoff round. To make matters worse, we're already slipping behind in the Premiership. One big reason for this? We're struggling up front with only 5 goals in 5 games. Clearly, we need a new center forward. Now, Philippe Clement had his eyes on Albion Romani from the get-go this summer, hoping the Kosovan striker would be the answer to our problems. But guess what? That deal's gone out the window. Romani's off to Sparta Prague instead. He was on fire last season with Rapid Bucharest, netting 19 goals in 30 matches. With stats like that, he could have been the man to fix our issues up front. But we didn't make a solid move, and now he's gone for £4.25 million, which might just be a bargain for Sparta. Romani's got everything. Goals, assists, key passes, you name it. He's not just a finisher, he's a playmaker too. Honestly, he could have been the perfect fit for us, especially with Serial Desires not exactly winning the fans over. Now, Rahmani joins the long list of what-if transfers that we've missed out on. But all's not lost. There's still some hope on the horizon. The latest name being linked with us is Mahamadou Diarra from WSG Tirol. Now, Diarra's not the finished article, that's for sure. He's more of a project signing, like a young Alfredo Morelos when he first arrived from Finland. Last season, Diarra managed 4 goals and 1 assist in 22 matches in the Austrian Bundesliga. Not earth-shattering, but not bad for a youngster playing outside his homeland for the first time. He's quick, powerful, and strong in the air. Exactly the kind of raw talent we could develop into something special. The only catch is, we might need to move on some current players to make room for Diarra. And with just days left in the transfer window, Clement's got to act fast. If we wait until January, we risk losing him to other suitors. So while missing out on Rahmani stings, Diarra could be the fresh blood we need to inject some life into our attack. He might not be the immediate fix, but with a bit of time and the right coaching, he could become a key player for us, just like Morelos did. All right, let's dive into this Todd Cantwell saga, shall we? It's been a bit of a roller coaster with him, hasn't it? Just a year ago, the lad was talking about how he felt like he'd been a Rangers fan his whole life, how the club reignited his love for football, and how he thrived under the pressure and expectation that comes with wearing the Rangers badge. Fast forward to now, and suddenly he's looking for the exit, leaving us all scratching our heads. You might remember when he was chatting on the Beautiful Game podcast last October. He was saying all the right things like, "I'll always follow Rangers 100%, and how much he loved being here." But now, it seems like that love affair didn't last as long as we'd hoped. Instead of sticking around to prove his worth, especially after shaky spells at Norwich City and Bournemouth, he's ready to jump ship at the first sign of trouble. Now, let's be honest, Cantwell hasn't exactly lived up to his own hype, has he? He talked a big game about handling pressure, but when push came to shove, he wasn't even on the pitch trying to help us qualify for the Champions League. With the team down to just Tom Lawrence for the number 10 role, you'd think Cantwell would be knocking on Clement's door, demanding to be in the squad. But no, he's sitting at home, watching from the sidelines. And here's the kicker. Clement actually gave him a second chance, covered for him for 2 weeks, and what did Cantwell do? He blew it. Meanwhile, other players who've been told they can leave are still out there giving it their all. Cantwell, on the other hand, seems more interested in finding a new adventure than stepping up when the club needs him most. What's even more baffling is that he's pushing for a transfer without having a solid offer lined up. Right now, the only clubs showing any interest are Trabzonspor and some Saudi outfit. If Cantwell thinks he's going to find a better gig than Rangers, he might be in for a rude awakening. Demanding a transfer with no clear destination? That's not just naive, it's borderline unprofessional. Let's face it, wherever he ends up next, it's likely going to be a step down from Rangers. Less pressure, less expectation, and frankly, less of a stage to shine on. If anyone even comes in for him at all, that is. It's a shame, really. He could have made a name for himself here, but instead it looks like he's chosen the easy way out. I'll be back with more bombastic and exclusive Rangers news at any moment. If you don't want to miss any, just hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, all right? We are the people.